wait.
No, you
wait. The man say the car should that car even him. Now why you talking about? He say you go for. So that we
good. Now I'm going live.
All right, folks. Welcome to LNTV. Welcome back. You are following our previous live video on LNTV and ELBC Radio. We're now departing Toe Town. The remains of fallen former First Lady Nancy Doe, and of course former Liberian President Samuel Doe is now departing Toe Town. Already here in Gedeh County. Just last night, the remains of both the former president and the former First Lady arrived here from Monrovia after a brief period of lie-in state at the Centennial Memorial Pavilion. So we're now making our way out of Toe Town, and we're heading so trying to make arrangements for position in the convoy, but again, yes, the entire convoy has already staged, and we're all departing Toe Town already. We're heading towards nearby towns. There are eventual stops that are expected to be made as we drive on. The entire route doesn't have internet connection, but again, since we're departing Toe Town and there's a low signal here, we thought to bring you a live stream of the departure. So wherever you're following or watching from, we'd like to say thanks for watching and thanks for following LNTV Liberia Live. Last night, like we were saying, there was a wakekeeping held to honor the two fallen heroes of Gedeh County, former First Lady and former President Samuel Doe. And so this morning the convoy is now heading towards Zwedru, where a wakekeeping is expected to be held tonight at around 10 p.m. And so as you can see, bystanders are waving, watching the departure of the convoy leave Toe Town, and then we're heading towards nearby towns along the route, and eventually for Zwedru, where the wakekeeping is going to be held. So thanks for watching wherever you're watching us from and wherever you're following from. This is one of the largest towns, one of the biggest cities or towns in Gedeh County along this route. So Toe Town, as you all may know, Toe Town is one of the biggest towns along this route. So let's drive on wherever you're watching from. If you know this route, speaking of the road condition, it looks quite reasonable. We took a few hours to drive from Monrovia, and I arrived in Toe Town last night at around 1 to 2 a.m. In the morning. So we expect that ahead of us there isn't going to be much difficulties at Civilis, so the conditions on the road. So yes, we are being told the road is actually okay. From what we saw as it relates to the portion where we drove on, we can guarantee you that it's obviously okay to drive on. We didn't experience any difficulties while we were driving through towards the Toe Town, and also we also witnessed that actually ongoing constructions along the route. So we've already passed the Toe Town Magisterial Court. We're on the outskirts of the town already now, driving through towards Zwedru, Tuzon, and other towns along the route. If you've been here in Gedeh, and there's also this beautiful organized parade, something like a parade or a way of the city of Toe Town, saying goodbye to the remains, or saying final goodbyes to the remains of former President Samuel Doe. There are students lined up along the road or along the route, to bid farewell to the remains of the fallen president and the former First Lady here in Toe Town. And if you look at it, they are giving a salute. Giving a salute to the remains of the former president. The lawmaker, Honorable Jeremiah Sokan, will get down and he will hand a token of appreciation to the administrators of the school. So, beautiful students, kids, dressed up in dominant green. Right hand salute to the remain. Can you play on, please? All right. This is the Tender Care Christian School. What a nice way to bid farewell to the remains of these two heroes by the students there standing along the roadside. Very beautiful, colorful. So we're now departing Tow City, if you can call it that, or Tow Town as it's famously known. But now most people call it Tow City, one of the largest here in Gedeh. So as we drive on, once we get to an area where the network fluctuates, we'll bring this video to a closure. But again, we just wanted to show you what it looks like as the convoy departs Tow Town, heading towards the Zwedru and other nearby towns or cities along the road.
No, no, okay.
So we were hoping that the remains will be placed in what I can consider a stronger car, as the hearse that has been prepared looks like a float, a designed float, and driving along this road could be something of a difficult experience. But again, no, you can't say that because of the way the road is. The road has been maintained, and it's clear. It's smooth to drive on. So both coffins are in the placed in the heads, and it's being driven along this road. For those of you who know what it means to drive along the southeastern Liberia, especially during the rainy season as it relates to difficult roads, it's not something that you want to do along this road, to put remains on a vehicle like that. But again, we're moving smoothly. Last night they drove through and got to Tow Town with no hitches, same case with what's happening now as we drive on. And so yes, in this convoy we have top government officials, including lawmakers. We have the Armed Forces of Liberia, the marching band of the Armed Forces of Liberia. We also have members of the Liberia National Police, various units. We have those from the Executive Protection Service, the advanced team who are already ahead. We also have media practitioners, folks from the Executive Mansion Press Bureau, and also, of course, the Liberia Broadcasting System, with a tight team of broadcasters, engineers, technicians that are heading towards the southeast, Zwedru precisely, for this historic ceremony. So speaking of the removal, the burial ceremony, state funeral, of course, of former First Lady Nancy Doe, late Liberian President Doe. He assumed the country's presidency in the 80s. After emerging as chairperson of the People's Redemption Council, the PRC, rose to the ranks of Master Sergeant in the Armed Forces of Liberia. Lots of history, of course, about former President Samuel Kayendo, one of the most prominent figures to emanate from Gedeh County, as history has it. And so activities are already lined up for the reburial of the former president. As we drive on, if we get to Zwedru, it all starts tonight upon arrival at around 10 p.m. Wakekeeping at the stadium. Of course, on tomorrow, Friday, the official burial ceremony. Yes, the funeral service, of course, tomorrow, Friday. Earlier, we spoke to the Superintendent Alice Chesler Grant, and he spoke to us about some of the preparation, some of the preps have taken place geared towards receiving the remains of both the former First Lady and the former President. So we've already left Toll Town. We're driving on the outskirts, of course, very slowly as we speak, but eventually as we move on, we are expected to have brief stops at nearby towns. The timestamps given to some of these brief stops are around 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just to observe some traditional rites, say hi to the elders, wave to the people who are along the roadside, waiting to see the remains pass through their various towns, just briefly, and then we drive on to the next town. Convoy is moving at a very slow pace, of course, but on very reasonable roads, good road supplied on, take my word for it. And as you drive on, there are pictures of the former president and his wife being placed along the road, on buildings. As far as here along the highway, we're seeing palm designs where the pictures of the First Lady and the former president, former First Lady placed. As this convoy departs, behind us, it's expected that His Excellency, His Excellency, in fact, President Joseph Boakai will be arriving also in the county. County authorities have already arranged right along the entry between Nimba and Gedeh County to await His Excellency the President. So he will be officially welcomed into the county by elders, members of the Legislative Caucus. We spoke to one of the lawmakers, Jacob Tibu. We also spoke to the Superintendent, Tesla Grant. We were hoping to speak to Honorable Jeremiah Sokan, though we were told he's quite busy. So if you are following, you can also leave your comments in the comment section and tell us what you make of the government's idea to rebury the former president. Of course, it's obviously meant to dignify the fallen president, former President Samuel Kanyedo. But again, earlier, just yesterday at the Centennial Memorial Pavilion, we spoke to President Joseph Boakai, and he told us that it was basically an effort to unite Liberians. Definitely, in his words, it's basically to unite the families of former President Tolbert, former President Samuel Kanyedo, the people of Gedeh, the people of Nimba, of course Liberia entirely. And of course, as history has it, former Senator Prince Wyatt Johnson, who was also given a state burial in Nimba County just a few months back. And of course, today we are taking the remains of former First Lady Nancy Doe, but coupled with the symbolic remains of former President Samuel Kanyedo for another state funeral right next door in Nimba County, a few months after Senator Prince Wyatt Johnson was laid to rest. These history figures have played a crucial and significant role in Liberia's history, the country's past. And so as we drive on, we still see bystanders, we still see folks from the towns, villages, standing along the road, waving. this is quite a long drive. They're waving, they're welcoming everyone. There's an old man standing right by his entry. He's waving, showing concern, showing solidarity. The name Samuel Doe is carved in inks, carved in the walls and in the minds of the people of Gedeh. Just like every county in every part of Liberia has got that prominent name emanating from the county, or emanating from the counties. The name Samuel Doe, of course, remain carved in stones in the hearts and the minds of the people of Gedeh and entirely Liberia. Speaking of his contribution to the country's history, serving as, if not the president, the country's first indigenous president. I keep getting stuck, but of course, his wife also one of the country's first, if not first, indigenous first lady. Zwedru, we've been told their preparations are already ongoing. All is set according to the superintendent Alice Chesler Grant, former lawmaker. The city of Zwedru is ready, cleaned up, has been given a facelift to receive the remains of both former First Lady and former President Doe. So wherever you're watching from, we like to say thanks for watching, thanks for following us. Still here along the highway intervention, speaking keenly of his contribution to uplifting government's infrastructure outlooks, several buildings. The now Minister President Samuel. What do you know about former President Samuel Doe? What has history taught you about the former president? Another group of Liberians waving here, showing love, some weeping also, expressing their concerns, sympathy, bystanders, resident citizens, waving palm leaves. They're crying, several of them weeping, of course, for a prominent daughter of the county and historically a prominent son, former President Samuel Doe. T-shirts printed bearing pictures of the former president. And so there's going to be a brief stop, so I guess we're going to get down. Check it.
That's good.
Alright, so we're still stitched. And I think this is just a brief stop, just so the folks here in the neighborhood can have a glimpse of the remains. Just so we have a glimpse, so the folks have a glimpse of the remains of the former First Lady and the former President. Departing laws in heading towards Zwedru. There are kids, also students, saluting again, just like we saw from the previous village with placards in their hands from the Zwedru Elementary School here. They're lined up along the highway. The students of the Zwedru Elementary School. And when I mentioned earlier about Effect, this part of the country, there is an elementary school named after him here in this town. So that was our first brief stop. And so from the way you've seen it, this is how it's going to be as we drive on, as we head towards the various towns along the road. In Tucson, it said we expected to make like around 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes to interact with the citizens there. But yes, as we drive on, that's how it's going to be. We'll be making brief stops, show you the reaction of the citizens. They're all waiting to see the remains of their former First Lady and former President drive through. It's quite a slow but long drive, but again, it's actually worth it. So leave your comments as we drive on. Once we do not experience any hitches anymore, you can keep watching as we drive on. But eventually, once we get to a difficult spot, we might end the broadcast. But again, just so you watch the departure of the remains of former President Zwedru Doe and his wife, former First Lady, as we drive through, just so you have a glimpse of the convoy moving through the county, and also see the activities along the highway, and also have an appreciation of the road. See what the road looks like for yourselves. So the remains is being taken to Zwedru under appropriate escort, of course, provided by the government of Liberia. There is a police vehicle at the front. There are several police vehicles in between. There's the armed forces of Liberia, all in between. Yes, this There's also a few folks from the Liberia Fire and Rescue Service as the convoy continues. Sure. I know distant now. Of course. But again, the president is expected here on this side of the president along with his cabinet. Several lawmakers are also expected. So it's going to be quite a long event. Lawmakers from the Senate, from the House of Representatives, they'll all be here. Former head of states, former vice presidents, they'll all be here for the state funeral. So where are you watching from? Where are you following from? Kindly leave your comments and tell us. Shortly, sure, we're heading for our second location since we left Old Town now. We just passed our first town where we slowed down. Made a brief stop and then we drove on. Good reception from the internet here as we drive on. Good reception from the internet as we drive on. We're still driving on, and so keep watching. Interesting thing is you also get to see the road, how reasonable it is to fly, how to drive on. But yes, we have left Toll Town. It is famously called Toll City, and we're still driving on. quite a huge convoy. Right behind the heads, you see a truck carrying soldiers from the armed forces of Liberia. But those are precisely the soldiers from the marching band of the army. They usually parade the body in the principal streets of major cities as we drive on. We're expected to do that in the principal streets of the city of Zwedru upon arrival. It's obviously a long ride, of course. It's obviously a long ride. So as we drive on, we might end this video to rejoin you shortly. But basically, we're still at network coverage area, so it's cool. You can keep watching. But as we drive on, once we experience any difficulties, we end the video. But again, we can rejoin you when we get to another coverage area to restart a new video to show you, because there are brief stops that will be done as the convoy drives on. So right before us here is the Heads taking the remains of former President Doe and former First Lady Nancy Doe. It is Zwedru. Former President Doe will be giving a repair, of course. And just a few days back, the day before yesterday, in fact, book of condolence was signed at the pavilion. And yesterday, the remains were taken there to lie in state hospital for a few hours. Sun is already up. The sun is up. It's just 21 past 9. 21 past 9, and the sun is up, and we're still driving. We just picked up at around 8 a.m. So up to 21, 22, 25 minutes of driving from Town, moving towards 2 zone. Another part of Gedeh as the remains of former President Nancy Doe and former First Lady. Okay, so it's a long drive. Obviously, 1 night along the road, 1 night in Toad Town, and first thing this morning, the entire convoy is driving on towards Zwedru. So, of course, this is the activities leading towards to the state funeral of Zwedru Doe and Nancy Doe. And so right now we're in Gedeh Town. If you are from Gedeh, you know Gedeh Town. There are folks already coming to see the hearse pass through Gedeh Town. So folks already coming through to see the convoy. Here we are already there in their numbers lined up along the road, just like in Toad Town, of course, in other parts. And we're arriving here. See the folks are standing by. Some are waving. So as we drive on, folks, we're making a brief stop here. So let's see if we can. Take the mic car to the lawmaker, Honorable Jeremiah Sokan. Honorable Alice Chestnut.
Well, Kubuna, Kala Dio. Yeah, we were, you know, when I saw Monday. Yeah, Covina, so you wouldn't know. So,
That's it. You heard the voice of Alice Tesla Grant there, speaking to the people of this town.
We'll continue.
Alright, so we'll now drive through. The superintendent just there's a back. Wait.
Are you good now?
Who can go? I see.
Alright, so we're now rolling. We've just wanted to show you what it looks like on the ground. The brief stops will be done eventually as we drive on. This marks, I guess, our second official brief stop here in Gedeh Town. The superintendent, Alice Chestnut Grant, just got down, spoke to the elders. So we are taking the remains of your daughter and your late son, former President Nancy Doe, to Zwedru for the state funeral and eventually the burial. And so we are departing. Speaks to the elders, shake hands, and that's it. So it's just brief, and eventually as we drive on towards other towns ahead of us, this is exactly how it's going to be done. You're seeing bystanders waving, taking pictures, saying their goodbyes as the convoy drive through their town. And if you are from Gedeh and this is one of your towns, you can leave your comments in the comment section about the remains of former President Samuel Doe passing through your town. And we're heading towards Zwedru. Campo wine my mwana baby. You also see the tears in the faces of some of the women standing along the road. Of course, losing a permanent person from the county. Losing a permanent person, of course, former First Lady, former President Samuel Doe, also a huge figure. So we're still in Doji Town, and we're still seeing. You're seeing the folks running towards the convoy. Saw the superintendent, the lawmaker, still greeting elders. There are students also who are lined up. Come in. No, it's fine. So let's show you, as you see, the elders are lined up. They're being greeted by the superintendent. The lawmakers also greeting the students. As you can see, they're all lined up in their numbers, waving to the convoy as they drive through along the route here. So keep following us wherever you're following us from. This is our third brief stop since we left Doe Town. But let's drive through. The lawmakers will now go back into their vehicles. So briefly, I guess we can go back. But these are students who are also lined up here. Some taking pictures, waving to the convoy as they drive through. So we'll now drive further. So we're leaving. We just passed the Marble Elementary and Junior High School here in Doji Town. So now we're going further towards our next location. Keep following. Excuse me. Keep following. Students Still waving. So we're now leaving Doji town and we're driving on. So keep watching, keep following. This is the Tapita to Gedeh, that Tapita to Zwedru, and we've already left Tapita just last night. We drove into Tow Town, after Tapita. Tow Town is the next major town that's along the road. So we just left Tow Town this morning at around 8 a.m. Some minutes past 9 a.m. already. It's past 9:30, so I guess it's been 25 to 30 minutes since we started driving towards Zwedru. But as you can see, the convoy is moving quite a little slower, and purposely because we're making brief stops along various towns as we drive on. So we like you to stick and stay with us. The internet, especially for Orange, is quite reasonable along the route. Also, not only are you observing the fact that the roads look okay for to drive on, but at the same time we're live streaming directly from the internet, not using third-party access provider, but we're still live streaming. Though we do have with us here our Starlink, which is effective and efficient for trips like this. But again, this also speaks to development in several ways. Having access to the internet in remote places like this, also speaks coupled with good roads. They all contribute greatly to the economy. Gedeh, of course, one of the largest counties also in Liberia, also populated, historically endowed, touristically endowed also. Right next to it you have the Sapo National Park. Once you leave on the other end, there's River G County with the G River. There is Sino County on the other end as you drive on. But once you're heading for the southeast, or you're heading for southeastern Liberia, this is the first county you get to meet once you're driving towards the southeast. There is what looks like a go-slow, or what you may call a water break, taking place now. I guess after here it's probably going to be a long drive before we get to the nearest town. You see ahead of us there, Honorable Jeremiah Sokan, the lawmaker. Yep, you see. Fine. Let him come to go there. So I think you're going to ahead of we ourselves will affect our work. At some point now, you'll come back. Yeah? Can you talk to him? He's the head.
We are doing state coverage. Stay here. Stay right here. Stay right here. We're doing it for the state. We're not doing it for individuals. Stay right here. The tradition be behind the car. So when the car breaks down, then you stop everyone off.
You can just saying it clean here to be up here.
My man, fuck up what I made here, man. No, you don't know. But
Alright, folks, so continue to drive on as we have made several stops along the road already, so we'll now drive on. So keep watching, wherever you're watching from. If you just joined us, this is the convoy that's taking the remains of both former President Doe and former First Lady Nancy Doe to Zwedru for the state funeral. So we just left Tow Town, like we said, for over 30 minutes now, I guess, or less. But we're now going, heading towards the Zwedru and several towns along the road. We are expected to stop in former President Doe's hometown, Tucson. Expected to slow down in Tucson. It's the hometown of former President Doe. Just yesterday, the remains of late President Doe and former First Lady, the late Nancy Doe, were taken from Monrovia. In the morning, there was a removal from the Samuel H. funeral parlor, and then there was the lie-in state that was held at the Centennial Memorial Pavilion, where His Excellency President Boakai and several government officials gathered to pay respect to the remains of the former president and his wife, the former First Lady. But prior to that, there was a book of condolence signed also at the same Centennial Memorial Pavilion, where His Excellency President Boakai, several government officials. Excuse me. We also saw former President George Weah, who also signed the book of condolence there. Director General Eugene Lamin Fagon of the LBS joined a couple of government officials also to sign the book of condolence for fallen President Doe. Still here in the middle of the road, driving towards Zwedru. It's quite a long drive, but we're still meeting folks along the road, still showing. Tonight on LNTV, the wake keeping expected to take place in Zwedru at around 10 p.m. We will be bringing you a live stream of those activities, the wake keeping precisely. We might make another brief stop as we drive on towards the various towns along the road. Make another brief stop here. And so yes, the superintendent along with the lawmaker have already made their way out. I guess they should be Town along the Gedeh Highway. And so brief stop as we as it's being done. The lawmakers will greet the elders, thank them, remind them that the remains of the fallen are First Lady and the former president. So we're leaving Town now.
And you show our dignity. We are happy that we are doing a value again. Thank you very much. We are right behind you. We will be part of the ceremony. Thank you.
So there you have it. The superintendent there speaking to the elders. So yes, of course, Town here along the Gedeh route, Zwedru, Zwedru route. Town along the Zwedru route. I guess amongst the bridge stops we're making, this should mark it 3 or 4 now since we've been slowing down at the various towns. And so for those of you who are watching, we'd like to say thanks for watching. There are folks taking pictures, elders lined up waiting to receive the remains. Echo, yeah. So it's a slow drive because there are lots of bridge stops that are being made. Earlier, we were just in Town just a moment ago now, so we're heading towards our next location, and then eventually 2 zone where former President Samuel Doe hails from. Continuing our journey, folks.
Do the lap on your other phone. Then my battery gone. My bag. Give me my bag.
So folks, thanks for watching, thanks for sticking with the live video as you drive on. as we get into the middle of the forest and other locations as we move on. Once we get to a network coverage area, we'll rejoin you. But keep following and stick and still elements of former President Samuel Kanyendo heads for Zwedru. Tuzon, his hometown, and eventually Zwedru, where his remains will be symbolically laid to rest. Also, the remains of former First Lady Nancy Doe will be laid to rest in Zwedru, Gedeh County. So follow for more LNTV Liberia. My name is Anthony Williams. We'll bring you all of the live coverage. I will bring you live coverage of all of the activities as it relates to the burial or reburial of former President Samuel Doe and the burial of former First Lady Nancy Doe. Bye bye for now.